amazing artist. I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Welcome to the last week of our Thiebaud pies. The last thing that we did for our pies was we went in with a second layer. Maybe you did a third layer to get your shadows super duper dark like Wayne Thiebaud's and get your colors very bright. Because with our first layer of watercolor markers, it was just a little bit too light, so we had to keep on layering those colors until we got the darkness for our shadows and we got the nice bright vibrancy for our colors. Now today is the last step, and all we have to do is create a tablecloth in the back, and you can do any kind of pattern that you want to. I think I'm going to do a plaid pattern, so I'm going to be using stripes in different colors. But maybe you want to do polka dots in your background. Maybe you want your tablecloth to have like leaves on it or something. You can get creative with your tablecloth. Just make sure that whatever you do in your background, it is a pattern. And we don't want to make it too crazy or too complex, because if we add like a bunch of little shapes back here, then it might be distracting from our pies. And our pies are like our main focal point. That's what we want people to see when they look at this artwork. So keep your background very simple, whatever you choose to do. That's why I'm choosing to do a plaid. I just want to keep it very, very simple with just some straight lines and different colors. So just keep that in mind while you're choosing your background. And I'm going to be doing the same exact technique that we've been doing with our markers and our water. But of course you can use crayons or colored pencils. If you actually have watercolor paint at home, then you can use that if you'd like. But if you are going to be doing some painting, then you're going to want to put a messy mat underneath your work so that you don't get mess on your table. With all of that being said, let's go ahead and get started on our tablecloth. So I think I want my background to be kind of green, so I'm going to choose some greens, and maybe I'll do a blue-green. You guys can do whatever colors you want to. Just think about what your pies look like. I have a lot of warm colors going on, so I want my background to be more cool colors. The warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. Cool colors are blue, purple, and green. So I'm trying to think of colors that would look nice together. If I did warm colors in the background, then maybe my pies would get a little bit lost in the background. So I want to do something that's the opposite, so that my pies will contrast the background a little bit and they'll pop and stand off of the tablecloth that I'm about to make. And if you want to do plaid like I'm doing, then of course you can use a ruler to get it nice and straight, but I'm just going to wing it, and I'm just going to start drawing some stripes. I think of a plaid pattern. Some lines are thick and some lines are skinny. So I made a thick line by using just the side of my marker like this, and I made a skinny line by using just the top of my marker, the very, very top of your marker, and it will make a nice skinny line. I think I want to change my color. And remember, this is going to be a pattern, so whatever I start with, I'm going to do it all the way across my paper. And I want to do another thicker line, so I'll use the side of my marker, and I'll use another skinny line. Notice I'm not drawing it on top of my pies, because this is the background that we're making. It's in the back. Our pies are in the foreground, they're in the front. So when I draw my stripes, I'm going to jump over my pies, and I'm not going to draw those lines straight on top of the pies. Since this is my first plaid stripe, I'm going to do the same exact thing all the way across my paper. And I'm going to leave a little space in between each of them, just because with plaid there's kind of a lot of white space. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between each of these patterns. When you get to one of your pies, when you're drawing your pattern, you're just going to jump right over it and continue your line. Are my vertical stripes for my plaid pattern, and when I think of plaid, I know it also has horizontal stripes, so that's what I'm going to do next. Vertical lines are when they go up and down, horizontal lines are when they go from side to side. So I got my vertical lines, now I'm going to draw my horizontal lines. And I want to keep my horizontal line a little bit more simple than this pattern that I made, just because, again, I don't want my background to be the main focus. I want my pies to be the main focus. So I'm going to try to keep it a little bit more simple in the background. And I'm just going to draw one horizontal line. I'm going to jump over my pie just like I did with my vertical lines. And I'm going to do this all the way down my paper. All right, there is my plaid pattern drawn. And now I'm just gonna take my water and my paintbrush. Remember, you don't actually need a paintbrush for this part. You can just dip your finger in some water and rub it across your marker, just like this. And I'm just gonna go over all of my lines. My lines are going in the same direction. We really don't need that much water. I think I put too much on right there. So I'm gonna dry my paintbrush off a little bit and try to pick up that extra water. And while I'm doing this, I'm being careful to do two things. Not use too much water, and I'm also following the direction of my lines. So if my lines are going vertically, then my paintbrush is also going to be moving vertically. If my line is horizontal, then my paintbrush is going to move horizontally. And the reason why I want to do that is because if I just move my paintbrush in random directions, then all these colors will start to blend together a little bit too much, and I wouldn't be able to see my stripes in the background. Like, I think I used a little bit too much water over here, so my stripes are kind of blending together a little bit too much. So I need to be careful as I continue my background, because I don't want them to all blend together too much. I still want to be able to see those stripes. So just be careful and mindful of that while you are doing your background as well. I'm also being super careful around my pies because I don't want to get any of my background color onto the plate or onto my pies or anything. I want to keep those separate. So really take your time, just like you have been this whole entire project, and go over these lines very carefully. And there is my background 100% done. Now, if you want, once this dries, you can go back in and make these lines a little bit darker, kind of how we did with our pies. You could add a second layer to your background if you want to. If it's not dark enough for you or the colors aren't as vibrant as you like, you can always go in with one more layer after this layer dries 100%. And that is it for our Wayne Thiebaud pies. I hope you guys had a lot of fun learning all about Wayne Thiebaud and his artwork and a little bit about his life as well. And I also hope you had fun creating this beautiful painting. I can't wait to see how your pies turn out. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.